topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Hope everybody had a happy new year. I can't believe the holidays are over with, but our great producer just reminded me now we've got Valentine's Day coming up, and she's in Louisiana, so that means Mardi Gras. Hey, this is the first Monday of the new year, and we do about 30 shows a month. All different types of businesses. But there's one business that trust and knowledge is so important. And that's our show this morning. We have the Provice Management Group with Ray Ferrara, who's been with us for years now. And we're going to be talking about predictions for 2026. Good morning, Ray.
Steve, good morning and Happy New Year to you. It's delightful to be with you. And yeah, the holidays are over, but I've got good news, Steve. It's only about 356 days until next Christmas, with lots of shopping days left.
Hey, Ray, I wanted to ask you, are there any kind of results out about Christmas shopping this year?
There's not final numbers out yet, but it appears that it was a reasonably good period. However, again, it's the tale of 2K, the 2K approach. The lower end was buying down in product, and the upper end was holding its own and increasing a little bit. So we'll see what happens, but overall, retailers are pretty happy with what happened during the season.
I'm really glad to hear that, because I heard there was some concern about how Christmas shopping was going to be this year. And hey, look, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Listen, first of all,
not all predictions come true, Steve.
Yeah, I know. So, it's so important. This show is so important. We run it live twice a month, and you always start off with the first Monday of the month. There's so many new people who are joining this show. Tell people about Provice Management Group.
Sure. Provice Management Group is a 40-year-old, or will be in August of this year, financial planning and investment management firm. We have offices in Clearwater and Tampa, Florida. We're serving about 1,100 families scattered over more than 30 states and managing somewhere just north of $2 billion on behalf of all of those families. And we stress, Steve, the financial planning aspect. There's a lot of people who claim to be financial planners, whether they're selling insurance products or perhaps they're stockbrokers, et cetera. But really all they're doing is gathering assets. And we believe that investment management, along with estate planning, retirement planning, et cetera, are all subsets of a financial plan. And we know if you have a plan, your odds of success increase dramatically. So if you would like to take advantage of our complimentary 1-hour consultation, just give us a call at 800-633-3049. That's 800-633-3049. Say you'd like to meet with me, and we'll be happy to set up a 1-hour consultation in either of our two offices, or we'll do it by Zoom no matter where you are.
So, Ray, this is time people are making New Year's resolutions, but I understand you have no resolutions, but some predictions for us for 2026. And people, I got to tell you, people love your predictions, Ray. What is the predictions in which you have probably the most confidence in?
My prediction is that most of my predictions probably won't happen. That's the best prediction I can give you. And I say that obviously with tongue firmly in cheek,
Right.
but I say this in a cautionary way. This is the time of the year where people have been making predictions the end of last year, the beginning of this year, about what's going to happen in 2026. And, Yogi Berra said it best when he said making predictions would be easy if it wasn't about the future. And in the future, we don't know what's going to happen. Just look at what happened this past weekend. Who would have thought on Friday that by Monday we would be talking about having brought the Venezuelan president to the United States to stand trial? That will have a dramatic impact on the oil markets on a go-forward basis. Yet to be seen whether it'll be positive or negative. But that's how quickly things can change. So everybody has to take these a little bit tongue in cheek and be willing to adapt as events unfold. So with that cautionary note, in all seriousness, what is the best prediction that I could have for this year? And that would be, let's deal with the Federal Reserve. I think we will see one more rate cut under Powell, probably at his last meeting in June. I think we'll see a second rate cut from the Fed later in the year, but not at the June meeting when the new chairman takes over, because and I'm saying he only because that's all they've talked about are gentlemen that could be appointed, that he will not want to go in and be labeled a lackey to the president at the very first meeting and wait at least until I've forgotten whether it's late July or early August meeting. So 2 more rate cuts, 3 are possible, but 2 we feel pretty confident about.
We're getting a lot of questions in. I'm trying to read some of these when they're concerns about Venezuela, but not about taking Maduro out, but us taking part in running the country. But everybody wants to know what this is going to mean for the oil business.
As I just said, it remains to be seen. Whatever it means for the oil business in a positive way is going to take time to work its way through the system, if you will, and the infrastructure that is in place. Not too surprisingly, all of the oil company stocks are up this morning, and up rather dramatically, 5-6%. And why? Because they're the companies that will be able to go in, invest and help to fix the infrastructure there, and then perhaps to be able to be paid to help increase the production for the benefit of Venezuela. So I would say, I should say, I would hope and I would expect that in the long term, it will lower the prices of oil by freeing up that oil to go onto the world market at an increased level than it's been in the past. But I want to caution everybody that that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take at least a year to get noticeable difference and several years before it could be as great as it might be. We've also got to figure out what's the stability of the political situation going to be there. Most of the opposition party in Venezuela are living in exile and they're not in the country. Is the vice president going to assume the mantle of president at this point? What support will he have of the armed forces in Venezuela? So lots of questions to yet unfold. But at the end of the day, on oil, it should be a positive, but in the long run, not in the short run.
Ray, we cover all of Florida. It looks like we're getting text in from the Miami area, and looking at the names, some of these could be Cubans. What is this going to do to Cuba?
Well, I don't know if we get a BOGO or a twofer here, but clearly, I think it was Secretary of State Rubio over the weekend who alluded to how close Cuba was to Venezuela and to Maduro, and how aligned they were with them. I think the president may have even made a small comment, if I'm recalling correctly, that talked about, well, I wouldn't want to be a leader in Cuba right now. So I'm not sure what all of that means, but we'll have to see how things unfold. But clearly, this has weakened the sitting government in Cuba. No, even if nothing further happens, it's clearly lessened their influence, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to start seeing some social unrest that occurs in the country.
I totally agree. So, last several years, you've been tough on private markets. Not you directly, but what is in store for them for 2026 for the private markets, Ray?
Steve, you're right. The private markets, of which I have not been high on for several years now, I think are going to continue to come out with more bad press than good press. With our higher interest rates, as opposed to the free money of pre-COVID, private markets did extremely well by being able to leverage portfolios where the cost was nominal, given how low interest rates were. Deals have not been able to be done in any substantial way. There are deals that are being done, but not in any substantial way. Investors are, from the past, are saying, hey, where's my money? I thought we'd be getting some liquidity by now. That's not happening. And we think that the private markets are going to continue to, in private equity particularly, to struggle this coming year. And some of the scary things that concern us is they're looking for new sources of cash as more sophisticated investors have pulled back. They're trying to find ways to perhaps have alternative investments available in 401k plans or in IRAs. They're hoping that the rules will be lessened on sophisticated investors so that they can attract that capital. I worry that if those kinds of things develop, that the programs that will be developed specifically for like the retirement market will be terribly expensive and loaded with fees, and that they'll be invested into by people who really will not understand what they're investing in. So my prediction is that the private markets, and especially private equity, are going to continue to have a negative year publicity-wise, and thus the same with results.
So we've had 3 fantastic years in the broader markets. Can we expect another double-digit year?
Oh, from your lips to God's ears, Steve. Yeah, you're right. We have had 3 beautiful years in the market, double digit in all 3 years. Actually, as good as this year was, up around 15-16% on the S&P 500. It paled in comparison to the two previous years. There's only been one time in history. And that was 1995 through 98 that we've had 4 up years in the market. So it's not unprecedented. And you're going to hear that in the press. Oh, this will be unprecedented. It's not unprecedented. It has happened before. Therefore, it can't be unprecedented. But it's a high it's a difficult probability to overcome. That said, yes, I do think that the markets will be up this year, and there's lots of things moving in our favor there. We have lower interest rates. We have the larger tax refunds that will be coming to people in March, April, May, into June from the one big beautiful bill that passed. Companies' earnings exceeded expectations in 2025. Their guidance is high. So I think all things are pointing to a great year, or I should say a good year, but perhaps not a great year. So be very happy with an 8, 9, maybe sneak into the low double digits, but be happy with an 8 or a 9% increase this year.
We just got a letter. This is from John in Fort Lauderdale. He said, I really enjoy your show, Ray. I really trust you. I will be contacting you in the next couple of weeks. I'm a new investor. My question is, the Democrats keep telling us how bad the economy is, and the Republicans keep telling us how great it is. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you for your willingness to reach out and take advantage of our complimentary 1-hour consultation. And we encourage all of our listeners, if they would like to visit with me personally, to simply give us a call at 800-633-3049 and say, I'd like to take advantage of that complimentary 1-hour consultation with Ray, either in our Clearwater or Tampa office or by Zoom. So coming back to Republicans and Democrats. I try to stay as neutral as I can when it comes to politics and the economy. Some of my friends are Democrats. Some of my friends are Republicans. And as I always say, I agree with my friends. The fact of the matter is that there's a little bit of truth in what both of them have to say. And it comes back to what I touched on earlier, and that is the K economy that exists. And if you look at the two legs of the K, or the two branches coming off of the K, one's moving downward, the other is moving upward. And those that are in the lower incomes are significantly affected by the inflation that has occurred over the past few years. And they are struggling to make those ends meet. And for those people, they would tell you that the economy is not good. On the other hand, those that are more affluent, most of them are keeping their jobs. We have an economy right now where there's very little firing, but there's also very little hiring. And they are spending money, and they're feeling good, and they have money invested in the stock market. They've seen their assets grow, just as we were talking about, for the last 3 years, and maybe again this year. So much like the Democrats and the Republicans, depending upon where you are on the economic scale is going to make a difference as to whether you think things are good or bad. The fact is, simple facts, is our economy did grow last year. Final number won't be in for another few weeks, but it did grow last year. It appears to us that there will be continued growth in the coming year, and one of our predictions is to expect growth in the 2.5% to 2.75% range for the year. Slower growth than perhaps we've enjoyed this past year, but growth nonetheless.
So I can't let you go without talking about AI. Will the AI play in the markets continue?
Steve, it will. There is massive amount of capital that's yet to still be committed to these investments. But what's happening is, with all of the money that's been invested over the last 2.5 years, investors now want to start to see a return on that capital investment. We started to see a little bit in the fourth quarter of last year with the nice productivity gains that we seem to be enjoying in the economy. we think that the strong companies will be the survivors. Many smaller companies will go bye-bye, either because they go out of business or they get acquired by the bigger players. But do not expect the AI stocks to be on the tear they've been over the last 24 months. We will see continued growth in that area, but we're not going to see the kind of increase in stock prices, generally speaking, across AI that we've enjoyed the last couple of years.
And finally, we got a couple minutes. What is the future of Bitcoin, Ray?
Well, it's up this morning, not too surprisingly, after, again, what happened this past weekend. So our prediction for Bitcoin, and we're going out on the limb on this one, and that is that we said that it would set a new 6-month low, which means it would have to get down to around $76,000, $77,000. This morning it was at $92,000. That's a long way to go. It's not quite a 20% drop from where it is, but almost a 20% drop from where it is today. But we still think that Bitcoin is going to come under a lot of pressure this year. The bloom is off the rose. Again, people are not going to speculate this year the way they have in the past. We're going to see the stable coins become more popular in this coming year and used in commerce, where Bitcoin is still not very popular in the commerce area. But then after setting a new low, we expect Bitcoin to move back up, but not to exceed its previous highs. And Steve, as we look to wrap up the show, I just want to remind everybody that Provise is a financial planning and investment management firm. We always offer our listeners a complimentary 1-hour consultation, and all they have to do is to give us a call at 800-633-3049, and we'll be happy to set up a 1-hour meeting in Clearwater or Tampa, or we'll do it by Zoom no matter where you're located, because we have clients in over 30 states.
Ray, I love the first Monday of the month because I know you're coming on. You'll be back in 2 weeks, same time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you so much. We love your predictions, and we'll see you in a few weeks, Ray.
More to come. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Ray. That's Ray Ferrara, Provise Money Management Group. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.